Welcome to the program Power to Unite with Elvira. After our very successful interview with His Eminence Pietro Cardinal Parolin dito po sa Vatican, ngayon po, saan po tayo ngayon? Nakatayo po tayo dito sa harap ng building ng Casa Lasal, ito po ang General Lay, kung saan po yung mga Lasal brothers are staying here dito po sa Vatican. Bakit kami pumunta from Vatican City, St. Peter's, papunta dito? Because napakahalaga po ang aming interviewin dito, walang iba kundi si Brother Armin Luisto. Siya po ang Superior General ng Casa de Lasal. Yung masabihin natin, Lasal Brothers. Ano ang role nila? Bakit napaka-important? We get to know them, and siya po ang andabayan ninyo sa pagbabalik ng Power to Unite with Elvira. Welcome to the program Power to Unite with Elvira. Andito po tayo sa Casa Lasal kung saan po makakadaupalad natin si Brother Armin Luistro. Siya po ang Superior General po ng Lasalian Brothers. Brother Armin, sasabihin ko, buongiorno, di ba?
Buongiorno!
Alam mo, parang isang milagro na nagkita tayo kahapon because I never expected na finally I can catch you. Alam ko po, na madalas kayo umiikot, no? Napakahirap ng trabaho niyo. Pero you see, you enjoy it. You were smiling all the way. Parang hindi nakikita yung pagbiyabiyahe, pagod ka, yung taong kausapin mo. Imagine, buong mundo yan, di ba? From Australia to Asia to Africa to Europe, no? To North America. Halos lahat yata, mas daig mo pa yung Santo Papa sa pag-iikot, di ba? And I think it's also very enriching sa iyo. Pero bago mo sagutin ako niyan, gusto ko malaman, syempre sila din, sino ba si Brother Armin? It's really our pride, no? Isang malaking karangalan sa ating bansa na isang Pilipino ang naging Superior General ng Casa Lasal. So, Brother Armin, who inspired you to become who you are today?
Maraming salamat, Tita LV. At it is a real honor for me. Gusto ko po bumati muna sa lahat ng ating mga manunood. Power to Unite with Elvira. It is a big honor for me to be interviewed by you here in Roma. It was a real blessing for me to meet you yesterday for this wonderful interview.
Siguro talagang sinadya yan ng Espiritu Santo. Sometimes I said very naughty, no? Talagang kung sinong gusto niya makilala ng ating bayan, yung sabihin natin, kapwa Pilipino, gagawa siya ng paraan because you play a very important role. So, who inspire you to choose this kind of life, maging isang brother? It should be very interesting kasi, Brother Armin, we need also young people to listen, understand that it's not, yes, there are so many problems in every aspect that we encounter. Pero kailangan din nila makita na there's also joy. There's also, a kind of love, that passion, dedication that you can really, sabihin natin, inspire other people, di ba? Through your sacrifices. Kasi kailangan po may sakripisyo, di ba?
Well, Tita, I come from a provincial family, provinciano, no?
Yes.
And when we were growing up, yung bayan namin, Lipa,
yes,
na nasa probinsya ng Batangas, was still had a very religious culture. No? It so happened that my family had very strong religious roots, no? Yung lolo namin, si Bishop Oviar.
Okay.
So, bata pa kami, marami ng mga madre, mga MCST, Canossians, mga iba-ibang madre, pare, na siyempre tinitingnan lang namin kasi nung maliliit kami, bawal sa mga bata makipag-usap sa matatanda. Diyan lang kayo sa kusina. But I think when we were growing young, we were still young, we were looking up at all of these figures coming in and out. No? So, as a young boy, lahat ng mga batang Pilipino naman na nangarap na maging pare, di ba? So nung maliit ako, kagaya ng mga kapatid ko, meron ako isang kapatid na pare, Blessed Sacrament, si Father Bong, no? But I also aspired to be a priest, no? But somewhere along the way, nakapag-aral ako sa Lasal at nagkaroon ng konting shift kasi nagkaroon ako ng isang teacher na brother, no?
Okay.
At simula nun, parang nakita ko kung gaano ka-close itong brother nito sa amin.
Yes.
As a teacher who became a friend, who became somebody who was very close to us and naging idol namin in a way, no?
Okay.
And that I think was used by God to invite me to another kind of vocation, which I'm so happy was where He led me.
Is he a Filipino o
Pilipino to.
Okay.
At siya yung aming homeroom advisor. So, sa loob ng klase, stricto. Pero paglabas mo, makikita mo na he really would take care of you. No? Siya lang yung teacher na kung tumawag sa amin by our first name. Lahat ng mga teacher stricto yun eh. Na, ang tawag sa amin, Luistro, Katigbak, Reyes. Pero siya, Armin, Joey, Butch. And he knew each one of us by name. I think that made a big difference. No? Because when, tita, akala ng mga tao, nung nag-aaral ako, top of the class ako, hindi. I've always been an average student. No? Na-honor paminsan-minsan, but most of the time, I always felt that the teacher only had her attention on the top of the class at saka yung pinakamagugulo. Yung mga pinakamagulo, kilala yan. Yung mga nasa top 10, kilala din yon. Pero kaming mga average, hindi na pinapansin ng teacher. Except this brother teacher. And I think that was the beginning of my journey to brotherhood as a vocation in life.
So, yung kanyang pag-aasikaso sa iyo, because yung misconception at that time na they are only after the best of the best, the brightest of the brightest, saka yung mga problematic. So, parang feeling mo safe. Pero I think you are also very naughty. Kasi you took advantage of that na we can be ourselves considering hindi ka mapapansin, pero very sharp. Very sharp itong brother na ng inspiration mo. Pinaano na pala, nagmamasid na siya without telling you. Ayaw niya kayo takutin kasi ibang panahon ninyo, di ba? Talagang totoo, kayo mga bata, huwag kayo makialam sa mga mundo ng matatanda. Doon kayo sa tabi. But these brothers realized that, you know, the community has to increase. Kaya naghahanap na siya ng potential. And you, through his caring, you know, yung sabi natin, dedication, caring attitude, nakita mo, there is beauty in that pala. So, sabihin natin, so, nag-aral ka, is it with the blessing of your parents?
Medyo pang telenovela yung kwento ng buhay namin, eh, no? Because, you know, tita, at 10 years old, I lost my mom.
Okay.
She had cancer for mga 2 years.
Yes.
Naiinggit ako sa mga kaklase ko noon kasi pag may graduation, I see them
Hugging, embracing.
Up to now, that's a very painful experience for me, no? Because parang I never felt my mother embracing me kasi she was 2 years bedridden. So, okay. I remember as a young boy, sa gabi umiyak ako. Because when my mother died, parang hindi ko yan masyadong napansin. And I suppose at 10 years old, you would not really understand the implication of the death of a mom. But 4 years after that, when I was 14, before I graduated from high school, my dad naman had a heart attack right in front of me. Nanood kami ng Eco Crispa.
Okay. Basketball game.
Tapos I just saw my father just collapse there, no?
So traumatic.
Very traumatic, no? So by the time I reached college, we were complete orphans, and we were 8. We were 8 in the family.
Yes.
So the vocation took a little sidestep, and to be honest, I did not know where my life was going. Except, siguro when you're looking when you're in that situation, you really are in a vacuum.
I
You
think
don't know.
na-trauma ka because you lack motherly love, motherly
Yes,
attention.
yes.
Tapos hoping
All of a
that
sudden.
your dad will be there, tapos bigla ding
Nawala.
kinuha sa'yo. Pero maganda sa'yo, Brother Armin, you did not go it against God. Di mo sinisi ang Diyos.
I will be honest with you, Tita. It was a painful moment for me. Because, no, alam mo, when you're 10 years old, what do you know about prayer?
Yes.
I remember my most fervent prayers was in the chapel. I was looking at the image of Our Lady, and I said, Mama Mary, isa lang na mahingi ko. Pagalingin mo yung mami ko.
Okay.
That was my only prayer. Kasi I didn't know what she was sick of. And in my mind and in my heart, when she died,
Yes.
parang I kept remembering the only prayer that I had in my heart, that I only knew, the only prayer I knew, was never answered by God. So, dinala ko yon, Tita. Dinala ko yon. At hindi, pagbata ka, hindi mo naman ma-share yun eh.
Oo, totoo yun.
It remains there as an unsaid part of your life. No? So, medyo matagal yon bago, at
Naka-recover.
hindi ko alam kung anong nangyari. But at some stage, siguro, wala ka namang ibang pupuntahan. Balik at balik ka rin sa Diyos. Siguro, when I felt close to this brother, teacher, siguro, in a roundabout way, ipinadama ng Diyos na, sige, may nawala, pero may dumating din.
So the vacuum that, you felt at that time, He filled it with love, attention. Kasi nakita niya longing
Sa
for
school.
mother.
Kung anong nawala sa bahay, sa school ko naman siya na. Ngayon ko lang yata nare-realize yan, Tita.
Oo. Brother Armin, sabihin natin, pilyo talaga ang Diyos. Then, imagine
Ang
mo.
sakit naman niya magpilyo sa akin.
No, because you don't realize the time you're so young. Ngayon, sa pagkukwento mo, sabi ko, kaya pala, you were now in this position. Kasi imagine mo, Brother Armin, kung buhay pa yung mami mo, daddy mo, do you think you will be sitting here as the superior general? No, because may attachment ka sa pamilya. It can be a hindrance to what you are today, going around, binigay mo lahat yung sarili for the betterment, ng education sa buong mundo. Pero, I think this is the reason why God did is this way, because He wants you to have that experience, to give attention to the needs of the world, which is yung proper education. Kasi yun ang mission ng dasal eh.
Hindi ko nakita yun. Hindi ko nakita noong time na yun.
Oo, hindi mo nakita. Pero sa pagkukwento mo, sabi ko, kaya pala, nagampanan mo ang binigay na mission because of your past experience. Kasi sabi ko, kung hindi mo na-experience yung gano'n na parang traumatic, nagagalit ka, hindi mo maintindihan, you cannot fulfill and sitting here, going around, because you will be attached. Pag sinabi, may sakit si mama, uuwi ka na. You will not give 100% of yourself to the cause of LaSalle Brothers. I'm glad you told me that. Ngayon nakikita ko na kung bakit ikaw nalagay dito sa position na yun, because you have a mission and you have to be detached from the material world. You have to be detached from the community, yung sa family. Kasi sabi nga din ni Carnia Parolin, when you enter something, you have to do a lot of sacrifices. And this is one of your sacrifices, by losing your parents. The love you're longing for, hindi mo na-experience. Kaya, yung brothers na naging inspiration mo, siya ang parang nagbigay ng lakas loob sa iyo na meron pang mundo, hindi mo lang nakikita. So, okay. So, now that, and then it can release you, to feel that your mom sacrificed also, your dad also sacrificed, and they are very proud of you because yung hindi nila magawa, nagawa mo, di ba? Kasi 8 kayo magkakapatid, kanya-kanya kayong mission. So, nung pumasok ka na, you decided to concentrate on this, sabi mo, teacher ka, di ba? So, while doing that, na-foresee mo ba na along the way, na yung kung saan ka patungo, mayroon ka na bang plano na I have to ganito? Wala, hindi ba? You just let, the parang evolution, you just let the situation go by yourself because nakita ko, you're so humble. You're so simple. Wala sa isip mo yung ambitious, no? Yung ambition, wala
Because, tita, I'm an ordinary student. I'm an ordinary probinsyano and sabi ng tao, I'm simple, I'm humble. I'm not. This is me. I come from a low middle class family. Pagkain, pinaghahati-hatian nyo kung ilang kayo, isang mangga, 8 kayo. So, doon ako nabuhay. And for a while, I was insecure about that. Kasi, I remember in high school, yung dalawa lang yung pantalon ko. And isang double knit pa nun, double knit. Tapos, akala ko walang nakakapansin. Minsan, yung isang kaklase ko sabi, si Armin, di nagpapalit ng pantalon, no? Hindi ko lang masabi, dalawa lang yung pantalon ko eh. Pero ngayon, as a brother, wala na akong pakialam sa suot ko, di ba? Kasi doon ako nasanay eh. Sanay na ako doon.
Which is dapat. You live by example, di ba? Na kailangan detach tayo sa material na mundo. Kasi kung naka-attach ka doon, you're not going to give credit to the, vision, mission ng Lasallian Brothers, di ba? So lahat pala yan, without your knowing it, yung experience mo nung bata ka pa, hanggang sa you got your education, lahat pala yan, meron role na gagawin sa iyo. Because di mo din na-foresee magiging superior general ka, di ba? But your experience with different stage of level ng encounter mo, tsaka yung pagbibigay mo ng the best in you for the education ng Lasallian Brother is not easy. Pero para sa iyo, dahil wala kang na-detach ka sa maraming bagay, kaya nabigay mo yung 100% what God wants you to be one day. So ngayon, nung naging education secretary sa Pilipinas.
Hindi ko rin alam kung bakit ako napapadpad doon.
Oo, pero it's a very different world, di ba? Samanta ito also, and I think this is the one that is better for you. Kasi alam mo naman,
I hope so.
ang education should not meddle with politics, di ba? Kaya doon natin nakita, yung experience mo as education secretary, do you think that's the answer to your call? No, hindi pa.
It was a very different road. Pag tinatanong ako, tita, ano yung experience mo ng 6 years as education secretary? I always say, it was the best 6 years of my religious life, but never again.
Yes.
I say that because, like Brother Andrew, who was education secretary also, sabi niya sa akin, sa brothers, sabi niya, if you really want to serve the poor, serve the public schools. Kaya nung time na yon, he was encouraging brothers to take the exam for public school teachers. No? And then I realized when he was education secretary, he would not stay in his office, but he would visit the schools, unannounced. No?
Yes.
So sabi ko, since God is putting me in this mission, I will also follow suit. No? So, yun ang ginawa ko. During my 6 years, I really visited especially the farthest school. And nagulat ako kasi ito yung mga eskwelahan na no national government official has ever visited. Yes. Kasi usually doon sila sa central schools, doon kung saan marami.
Sa city.
Ito minsan magbabangka ka, maglalakad ka, magkakabayo ka. So it would take 8 hours before you reach a public school. Nagugulat sila. But that's where I also deepened my vocation. Whether I am in a LaSalle school or not, I see the vocation of a teacher. And how powerful and how hopeful that vocation is. Kasi in the farthest barangay, sino bang nakikita ng mga bata kundi yung inspirasyon ng teacher? Yun na lang yung kanilang pag-asa sa buhay.
Yes.
Kung ano yung sasabihin ng teacher, yun ang kanilang pinanghahawakan. Kasi sa baryo, the most influential person is the teacher. The parish priest is not even seen. Baka once pag fiesta lang, di ba? Yung government official will not even go there. So, doon ko talaga na-realize how powerful and how big a value the teaching vocation is.
After listening to our beautiful, heartwarming, very emotional, encounter with Brother Armin Luistro, kung sino po siya, di ba, siya po ang Superior General ng Casa LaSalle dito sa Vatican City. At dito natin nalaman yung kanyang buhay. Kaya po, it's a reminder to all of you, napakahalaga ang family life because it will mold you to become who you are one day. Pero sa buhay po ni Brother Armin, he lost his mother at the age of 10, then the father at the age of 14. So nakita natin, there's much of longing for love. Pero hindi po yun naging sanggabal. Because ang naging inspiration niya, parang nagtayo tatay-nanay niya, ang LaSalle teacher niya, kung saan siyang nagbigay ng lakas loob sa kanya to continue to pursue what he is longing for. And I believe, dahil dun sa traumatic experience niya, na wala siyang magulang at the early age, yun ang nagbigay sa kanya ng lakas loob to become who he is today, kung bakit siya naging Superior General ng LaSalle Brother, because he now is so detached with, material works, so detached with, attention, di ba? Kundi ang ginawa niya, pinokus niya ang kanyang pagmamahal sa taong bayan, sa mga makakadaupalad niya, because na-realize niya one way of reaching God is really through education. So naging ilaw siya, nag-serve siya as the light, of the world by bringing the best he can to understand, that the world needs love, that the world needs, attention, that the world, amidst the darkness, there is still a lot of hope. There's still a lot of light because God is the light of our world and we need to keep that burning. Sana nagustuhan po ninyo itong episode natin, pero meron pa po tayong second part kasi napakaganda ng buhay ni Brother Armin at doon natin makikilala bakit yung mission niya is reaching out to 80 countries. Siya po ang tambayan nyo sa pagbabalik ng Power Tonight with Elvira sa part 2 po sa susunod na linggo.
Read the Bible and its message will wipe away your fear. Wake up, listen, see the world with new eyes. Walk in sunshine, wipe the sadness, unite the colors of humankind. Peace is elusive, but with God we can achieve it.